Hello everybody. Today I would like to talk about prioritizing. Oh dear, this has been very difficult for me in the past. This week I have been working tirelessly on making moves in my career. Every single waking moment of my day that I spend working, for the most part, has been spent on progressing my career. I have astounded myself at the sheer amounts of information that I was capable of taking in. I did not know I was capable of that. The problem is that it all came at the expense of growth in other areas. I was able to focus on my fitness a little bit. I was able to focus on my career and learning a lot about one very specific area. The problem is that everything else suffered. I barely read anything. I barely did yoga. I had a very strict workout schedule. I couldn't really deviate from it, so I couldn't really take dance. And I love dance. I'm a dancer. I couldn't focus on my appearance and find the joy in putting effort into what I looked like. I couldn't cook the great dishes. My diet was not that great this week. My spending was a lot more because I couldn't meal prep like I usually do. It was really frustrating, to be honest. This was probably one of the most exhausting weeks I've had in a very long time, simply because I was put in a position where I had to learn so much in such a short period of time. I was put in a scary position that if I didn't learn all of these pieces of information so quickly, I was going to take several steps backward in my career. But if I did do everything properly, if I did get where I wanted to get, I was going to take several steps forward. So a lot of delayed gratification going on every single day. I couldn't really focus on my social life. I moved recently, so I'm trying to make new friends, mostly girlfriends. Like, I just want to surround myself with good people. But this week I couldn't work on that at all. I really just had to work on my career. It was really, really, really hard. But I did it because I had a reason to. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned when it comes to self-improvement is that sometimes we really do have to zero in on one thing at a time. This week I zeroed in on my career, and whatever time left I put in towards the things that really mattered, the things that couldn't fall to the wayside. But gosh, I'm learning 2 new languages. I'm learning Italian and I'm learning Spanish. A lot better Italian than I am Spanish, but I barely practiced that at all. My skincare routine wasn't amazing. I didn't stretch as much as I used to. I'm also a writer. I didn't really write that much this week. A lot of things fell to the wayside. I think it was worth it though. So I'm just here to tell you that yes, it's very important to be driven, but don't be driven to the degree of losing sleep. You know, your sleep is important unless it's absolutely necessary. You know, some of us are just put in situations like that where we do have to lose sleep. But I was put in a situation where it was like, okay, get up, work, learn, work out a little bit, and then go to bed. And then get up and immediately rinse and repeat. Don't have any time for yourself. Don't have any time for joy or decompression. Just work and learn. Gosh, and it got to the point on Friday, I was doing something with a close friend, and oh my gosh, it was to the point where I couldn't even enjoy it for the first like hour or so. A lot of the night was spent simply just trying to get back to the point of being able to enjoy having fun because I was so much in work mode. But sometimes things like that are necessary. I made a decision this week to completely not even sell myself, but to give myself to my career, because my career matters. The field that I was in before was wonderful, but I had the opportunity to make a pivot, and I would say it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And you know, there's more on that later. I'm still kind of making the transition, but I was a mediator before and I loved that job. I was a mediator and a case coordinator. I worked in human services, and who knows, maybe I'll work in that field again one day. But right now I am focusing every day on using self-improvement and what I've gained in my past of human services, you know, as a trained certified mediator who's still practicing as a volunteer, to now excel in this new pivot of a career that I have. So I'm a novice at what I'm doing now, but they picked me for a reason. I decided every day to show up, even though I was scared. I gave part of myself to this week at the expense of all the other things that I enjoy doing. I gave a big part of myself to this at the expense of my comfort, and honestly at the expense of my sanity. But was it worth it? Yes. Yes, it was.